Welcome to Shenzhen for the second game of game day 4. It's Asia Cup powerhouses Korea up against Asia Cup debutants Indonesia. I'm Julia Montesano and I'm joined by Laurie Chiswick in commentary. Laurie, welcome to you. The Group A standings will be decided today and it's an important game for both of these teams.
Well, certainly it is, and Indonesia will be looking to put together 4 quarters of determined basketball to try and secure their first ever win at the Asia Cup in the A division. Korea have had some tough physical battles, and they will want to win this game to secure second spot in Pool A and avoid a classification crossover game against Japan. They just want to make sure the Philippines, who just won that close game over Lebanon, will end up in 3rd spot.
We now welcome Indonesia onto the floor. We knew it was going to be a tough tournament so far. Although they've had 2 losses, they can certainly take some positives from them, Laurie.
Absolutely, I agree. Even though they've lost those 2 games, they remain positive and feel that they can still play better basketball. There was always going to be an adjustment period to playing in Division A, given the increased speed, physicality, and skill level of players. But Indonesia, I think, have done a good job of sticking to their game plan and trying and improving every time they step onto the court.
A lot of energy out there as the players run out. Kim Pierre-Louis full of spring in her step, which is good to see. Coach Andre Ekayana, my apologies, on screen, getting ready for another big game in charge of his team. Korea are now making their way out onto the floor. They've had one of the more tiring tournaments of all the teams, a 2-point win over New Zealand, and then last night, a physical loss at the hands of China, Laurie.
Well, I agree. I think there might be some sore bodies on the floor today, as you said, given their tight match against New Zealand and their physical game against China. Also the fact that they are without their captain, Kang Yi-soo, who was injured during that first game. However, they have experience, they have size, they have speed over Indonesia, and I think that as long as they stay focused and play together, then it swings in their favor to come out ahead.
Good to see Park Ji-soo out there. We know she went down with a bit of a shoulder concern last night. Coach Park Soo-hoo on the screen, ready to attack another game of Asia Cup basketball. Let's now pause for the national anthems of Korea and Indonesia.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Republic of Korea. 请保持肃立，奏韩国国歌。 Please be seated，请就座。Both sides player waiting each other and exchange gifts。请双方用脸相互递并相互礼品。
The two teams come together in the middle of the court to exchange gifts. Of course, coming up after this, it is China taking on New Zealand. 57th ranked Indonesia at the moment going up against the 14th ranked Korea. Let's welcome the referees for tonight's game. They are Taha Al-Hashadi from Yemen, Bandar Jassim MJ Al-Sawaidi from Qatar, and Rakesh Ramalingahaya from India. Congratulations to all referees selected in this tournament. We now see Indonesia going through their final warm-up. Can they cause an upset here against a team who has won 12 Asia Cup titles? Their starting five today is Gradita, Karen, Soima, Wang Sohajo, and Pierre-Louis Laurie.
Yes, and they've made one change to their starting lineup from the other day. So Gradita comes in for Orville, and Gradita had a great game. I thought she was really instrumental in making the tempo, containing the tempo, running the show out there. But all important for them is Pierre-Louis. We know she got into early foul trouble the last game, so if they want any chance of being competitive with Korea, they need to have her on the floor.
Andrea Kayana, it's been a tough initiation for him, but he would have believed that his team can take it right up to Korea today. Speaking of Korea, here they are. They find themselves in an interesting situation with one win and one loss so far. They start with Shin, An, Chue, Park, and Park, Laurie.
And again, that's one change. Shin comes in, Shin Ji-hung comes in for number 10, Kang Yu Lim, who was replacing their captain, Kang Yu-sur. So they have to make those adjustments. But the big surprise, or not surprise, but the big highlight for us, I think, is the play of Chue, who's averaging 19.5 points per game, 6.5 rebounds across the first two games. She's been impressive.
There's Coach Park Soo-hoo, a great person to take the team forward as they aim to continue their Asia Cup dominance. Well, as we approach tip-off, Laurie, a loss is massive for both teams here today. Korea lose and they could face the threat of missing semi-finals for the second time in a row at the Asia Cup. Meanwhile, for Indonesia, they could face the prospect of a relegation game and head back to Division B just after they arrived in Division A.
Yeah, that's something that they don't want to do. It takes a lot to get here, and we already know that whoever, if it is Indonesia that do play in that fourth place game, they'll be playing against Lebanon, who just lost a heartbreaking game to, it was just a fascinating game to the Philippines. So these games in day four are really crucial, and it feels like it is leading into the pointy end of the tournament, and everything is so crucial.
We know Korea still missing their captain Kang Yi-seo with a back injury. Park Ji-soo wasn't herself last night, injuring her shoulder. It's going to be up to the likes of Chue, as Laurie mentioned, and Park Ji-han also to step up today for them. Meanwhile, for Indonesia, a tough start to their time in Division A, but they've taken it on with a smile. They haven't been overwhelmed by the occasion. Is today the day they break through for that first ever Division A Asia Cup win?
Well, they'll be certainly hoping that that's the case, but they'll also just be hoping that they put in a good performance and that they get better every time they get on the court.
Welcome to Shenzhen in China as Korea takes on Indonesia in a battle between two Group A teams. Group B standings are finalised. We still have the Group A standings to determine with this game, and then up next China and New Zealand to round out the group games for the tournament overall. An was brilliant against China last night. So controlled as the point guard of the team. Gets it there from Park Ji-soo, just a bit short on the shot. Gradita can get Indonesia off to a good start. Soima. Gradita provided so much energy off the bench in the previous two games. Gets her opportunity to start here. Karen, the captain, puts it in.
Really good positive start for Indonesia. Good execution of the offense. Karen recognizing that she had a mismatch on just took her right down there, and it was a nice solid finish. It's fun watching those two, Kim Perry-Louis and Park.
Hit the game winner against New Zealand. She's feeling good. Scores her first points of the night. Wong Sahajo just glides in. I was saying that a bit in the previous game, Laurie, for her needs to put the ball on the floor and go hard to the basket. She did just that. So a Korea ball. 2 baskets to start the game for Indonesia. Shin injected into the starting lineup today for Korea. Park Ji-han's had an excellent tournament, and she gets off to a good start today.
She just cut off some screens into the key, then popped right back out there. Just nothing but net on that shot.
Soima. Karen steps in now. Can't get the reply. An He-ji. Chue, just over the head. Park Ji-han.
A bit too much heat on that pass.
That was a solid 3, though. Kim Pierre-Louis. A nice string of passes here. Soima had the final shot. They get it back. Pierre-Louis pulls up. That one's short. Shin Chi-han. To Park Ji-han. An. Gets it back. Chue gets it tapped away from her. Gradita as active as ever. And Chue just gives her a bit of treatment there. Gradita sees the funny side of it. See there, Chue wasn't liking the attention from Gradita. She gets an opportunity to respond in the best way possible.
Just a bit of lack of communication there on defense. Both players went to another player and left Strauss wide open.
Oh, and a beautiful fadeaway shot. Soima brings the margin back to 2. Shin. Park. Strong rebound. Kicks it out to Park Ji-han. Dubs it into Chue again. They don't find her. Wong Sahajo off again. Pierre-Louis.
What a great pass by Wong Sahajo. Just saw Kim Perry-Louis cutting to the basket. Kimberly, good pickup and finish.
Kim Pierre-Louis has been their top scorer in the first 2 games. Lee He-ran's going to replace Park Ji-soo in this game. First sub of the game. One to come here for Kim Pierre-Louis. And she makes it. Indonesia keeping up with Korea. Ranked 14th in the world. Indonesia sitting at 57th. Shin Chi-han. Not this time. Gradita shares it with Soima. Soima. Shot clock ticks down. Karen's going to have to put it up with 2 to go. Foul on the floor.
Indonesia are showing a lot of patience out there, looking at if there's mismatches, coming off screens really hard. They're not panicking at all. One of the differences is Korea's not playing up and in defense, so it just gives Indonesia a little bit more thinking time.
Sriata going to come on for Indonesia, their first sub of the game. Priscilla Karen will take a seat. Wong Sohajo launches. Lee Heran pulls down the rebound, strong boards. Park Ji-han pushing the pace. Korea pushing the pace. Finds its way back to Ahn Hye-ji, who finds a way through. And does get the foul call. 2 shots to come. Strong drive there from Ahn Hye-ji. She's had a busy couple of days.
Well, she just is so quick on.
Coming off 15 points, 5 rebounds and 6 assists against China. But all the talk has been 3 of those points, and she probably deserved more than 3 points because she shot the basketball from well beyond halfway to beat the quarter time buzzer. That was a highlight of the tournament.
Certainly was.
Straight back down to business here.
And we see what Korea has done all tournaments so far. After a made foul shot, they're in a 1-2-2 zone.
Can Indonesia break it? A few quick passes. Sriata rebounds so well this tournament. She goes up for the foul, goes to the line.
It was a good decision not to pass. When she got the rebound, she was looking around to see who to pass it out to. And then she realized that she had a smaller player on her in Sin Ji-hung. And good decision to take it at her.
Kang Yoo-rim replaces Shin Ji-han on the floor. Her second foul already. Sriata makes the first. She's had a nice tournament so far. 5 points, 2 rebounds against China. 4 points and 7 rebounds against New Zealand. A hard worker in this team. This is the second free throw. And travel caught in 2 minds. It's a win there for Indonesia. They're keeping right with Korea at the moment.
Well, they are. It's been a good start. We can see that the youngster is coming on the court, number 24, Husam.
Here, Louis. Gets cut off, but Pierre-Louis does manage to scramble
4
it back.
seconds, he's got to get a shot up.
Might have just missed the opportunity. Shot clock violation. So Kang Yoo-rim to inbound it. Coach Andrea Kayana watching nervously on the sidelines. Sriata. Now Gradita can get on the move. Has Hassan up in front of her, but has to go backwards to wait for the rest of the cavalry to arrive. Pierre-Louis fell out of her hands once again. She manages to get it back. Spins around and gets it done.
Good persistence and poise by Kim Pierre-Louis. Fumbled the ball, regathered it, had a look. What an
Picked up where
answer.
she left off last night. Came up clutch with some big threes in the 4th term against China. And here she is shining again. Soima. She lets one go.
That's what you need to do if you're playing against the zone. You need to change sides, sometimes get it inside, back out, but she knew that. She was open. She took the shot and made it.
Park, great footwork, great rebound. Gets taken away from her. Sriata still with it. And she breaks free. Hassan.
Oh.
Nice pass to Pierre-Louis. Gave her the best opportunity there.
Well, I'm not quite sure how On ended up on Pierre-Louis, but there was good recognition by Hassan to get the ball in her, get it high so that she couldn't jump up and get it. And now Kimberly finds herself at the foul line.
So some subs from both teams here. Aritonang and Hong enter the floor. Claire will take a rest. Pierre-Louis at the line. Just having an excellent tournament so far.
Naturalized in 2020 with the Indonesian team, has been playing with them in the Southeast Asia Games, was crucial in their elevation, their 1-point win over Iran to be elevated into the A division.
Both free throws go down. Indonesia regain the lead. And they get a call going their way. Offensive foul.
Korea's in the bonus situation now, so every time they commit a foul, that will send Indonesia to the line.
It's been a great start from Andrea Kayana's team. Aritonang just couldn't quite get the pass away to Pierre-Louis.
Yeah, she just needed to take another dribble towards the baseline to give herself a better angle to get it into Pierre-Louis.
Park. Kung, back to Park. Back to Kung. Can she go back to back? Pierre-Louis finds Hassan. Can use her pace to get on the move. Just loses it. Then finds Pierre-Louis in rhythm. And now look at the speed of An Hye-ji. Sprinting up the other end of the floor. Lee glides through. Pierre-Louis cops some contact, but it was a foul on her. Sportsmanship there. Let's have a look at this close. Ooh.
Well, it was close. Her feet were outside of the charge circle. Referees have a good view of things.
So Antonio onto the floor for Indonesia, along with Ho Ye-un. Lee Heran at the line. 22-year-old forward who plays for Samsung Blue Minx in Korea. It's actually her first points of the tournament. Couple of rebounds in each of the first two games. Nice moment for her. Hassan. Pierre-Louis scrambled. Sviata breaks free. Finds Hassan, gets underneath Park. It was a clever move, just couldn't pull it off. Had the right idea, Bella Hassan.
Well, she did, and it was almost an open basket. Her and Kim Peri-Liu were fighting for the ball, really, but not quite. Now we find Korea with the ball in the end line.
You know, Hassan had a great moment earlier on in the tournament. She sort of a fadeaway jumper against Jung Zoo-yu, which was a very much a highlight for the 164-centimeter point guard. Kung, Ho, Park. And again, just like the last game, the referees have been quite busy to start this one.
Well, that's a three-point shot there where she was fouled, and more importantly, that's Peri-Louis' second foul, and she really needs to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, she had that issue in the last game. They needed her to stay out there. So Sends Park Ji-han to the line. Speaking of excellent tournaments, that's exactly what she's had.
She has. She's been so impressive in all the games, whether she's top scoring or just being, she's such a presence. She's got such high basketball IQ. She reads the defense really well.
One more to come for her. Pierre Louis on the bench with those 2 early fouls. She goes 3 from 3 at the line, making the most of her opportunities. Big task here for Hassan and Aritonang to get it over. Chandra on for her first minutes. Gets involved here. Antonio. Gets it swatted away from her. Dumps it into Chandra, who manages to make something work.
Talk about making something out of nothing as the shot clock almost expired.
A minute and a half left in the first term. Kang, a good rebound. Park, one way, then the other. Then kicks it out to Lee Head. Doesn't get the friendly roll. Hassan has to slow things down. And then picks up the pace again. Chandra. Fouled. Good couple of plays here from Chandra. Just copped the contact and rode it all the way through. First shot's a bit short for the Indonesian centre, who plays her basketball with Mataram Yogyakarta. Coming on 3 points in each of her first 2 games. Has already had that same score equal tonight with 3. Park, great move.
Yeah, good basket by Park. As I said, high IQ. She just read the defense. Straight back into this extended zone here.
Indonesia find a way through. Hassan. She was fouled 2. 2 to come for Bella Hassan. Good aggression shown from the 19-year-old.
Yeah, she just wasn't quite in position, Hong Yu-soo. Indonesia as a team over the first 2 games shoot the free throws at 77%. They take about 13 a game, so that's a good result for them.
Scores level. About 40 seconds to go in the first period. Young, she changes that. Six points for her, 2 massive triples in the first term. Aritonang to Hassan. Puts the ball on the floor. Aritonang now. Have to go, I don't think they realize it. Good defense there from Korea.
There's just a bit too much at the top of the key with Hassan just going nowhere with her dribble, and there wasn't a lot of player movement, but 6 seconds for Korea to make something happen. And who better to shoot it?
Needed Ahn Hee out there on the floor to repeat what happened last night. Wasn't to be. At the end of the first quarter, it's Korea 25, leading Indonesia 22. Well, credit to both teams, really. I think both teams would be proud of their starts. They both can take positives out of these stats, although Indonesia 1 from 6 from the 3-point line. Won't love that so much, but a good start for both teams.
Well, it has been, and I think there's been a lot of, you know, spread of scoring, a spread defense. There's been a lot of good help situations out there. We'll just have a look at the first quarter and some of the highlights for that. And I think what that'll show is that there's initially was a lot of player movement inside, trying to focus on getting some good looks inside, and then it seemed to open up a little bit at the three-point line, especially for Korea. But we can see Indonesia's focus is to get inside. Look for Kim, look for Karen when she's on the court. Dribble penetration. And for Korea, I think the same thing. I've been impressed with Korea's ball movement, as always. They move the ball quickly around the perimeter, and you know what they're going to do there. You know, they get 2 feet in the paint, then they kick it out to a three-point shooter. So you know that that's the scout. You know that then when a shot goes up, you have to block out, find a body, and not give them any second chance opportunities.
3-point margin between these two teams. Coming up next, it's China up against New Zealand to determine the final standings of Group A. Group B done and dusted. You can scan the QR code on your screen to get the Courtside 1891 app, where you can watch live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of international basketball. Second quarter coming up between Korea and Indonesia. Korea, one of the most successful teams in the Asia Cup with 26 medals. They're tied with China on 12 titles. Indonesia, well, it's their first Division A Asia Cup tournament. What can they do here? Tip off in the second term.
We
25 leads 22.
Sorry, we see Park Ji-soo back on the court after only playing a couple of minutes.
Seems like she's going to try and conserve herself after that shoulder concern last night. Antonio let it fly very early on in the shot clock. No, she loves to shoot a three. Chance here for Korea to open the scoring in the second period. Lee finds Chue. Ho likes the look of it. Can't knock it down. It's kept in. And Indonesia find it. Hassan to Orville, who's on the floor for the first time in this game. Antonia has to be careful. She gets it through to Hassan. Kicks it all the way across to Orville. Chandra would have been perfect if it just stayed in her hands.
And that's what I'm talking about in Division A, just the speed. You know, it was the right decision, but you now have to execute everything that much quicker and that much sharper, because otherwise it's going to be intercepted.
No other option there but to foul Park Ji-soo. Tallest player out there by some distance. Gets to work on Chandra, then dumps it into Chue. Good recognition.
She actually went into her shot, the movement of her shot, and then was going to take a good shot, and then saw a great player, in a better position to take a great shot.
Orville now goes hard. Park gives away the foul.
Well, it was a hard show by Park. She stepped out on that high pick and roll. They looked like their intent was to trap here. Just need to keep her hands out.
So there's going to be a timeout on the floor called by Indonesia. Korea leads this one 27-22. 8 minutes 38 remaining. We're going to shortly head into Undri Ekayana's huddle, calling an early timeout in the second term, just after that one made basket from Chue Isem. Let's see what he has to say.
Kalau nggak bisa bolanya,
So it's a sixth message there from Coach Ekayana. A quick timeout called after just one made basket from Chue Isem. Clearly wants to stamp out anything he doesn't like. You can see Kim Pierre-Louis still on the bench there. Hasn't come back on after those 2 early fouls in the first term. Gradita to Antonio. Trouble. The young team is going to make those mistakes, and again, it comes back to that discipline, Laurie.
Well, it is, and you know, it's those sort of mistakes that when you don't even get a shot up, or somebody like Korea are going to really capitalize on that.
Park goes to work on Chandra. Beautiful spin move with one more to come.
It was really nice. Her footwork, her balance, her eyes on her target were just really nice. She got, you can see she made contact with the defender, so that means she had control as she spun around her, and we can see that Pierre-Louis has come back in the court now as well. Chandra, 20 years old, so she's still learning her trade. And we can see Greni come back into onto the court.
Park can't convert the three-point play. Pierre-Louis already into the action with a big rebound. Hands it back to Gradita. Antonio thinks about it, goes for it, misses. Ho. Back to Ho Ye-un. Orville. Antonio just keeps it in, now needs some assistance. Gradita comes. Wanted Pierre-Louis, couldn't find her.
Exactly the same as the other turnover where the angle of the pass wasn't good. Just take another bit of a dribble towards the baseline. Create a better angle to get it to Kim Pierre-Louis, who's working hard to try and keep Park Ji-soo on her back.
Soima replaces Antonio out there on the floor. Pierre-Louis finds Park Ji-soo, and then Lee gets it back to Park. Who gets it back to Lee. Excellent rebound. It does get taken away though. The hustle of Gradita has been so impressive to watch throughout the whole tournament. She finds Soima. Elects to get to work on Ho. Finds a way to Orville. Fading away. Shot didn't connect. A few misses in this quarter for Indonesia. They might start to add up. Park. Backing down on Pierre-Louis. Who's right there with her. Double teamed. Somehow found a way back to Park Ji-soo. Not a moment Indonesia will want to watch back. Park up to 6 points for the game. Angraini. Soima. That's a connect.
It's a nice pass. Angraini got her feet in the paint. Nice kick-out pass to the perimeter.
Indonesia's first made three of the quarter. First score of the quarter as well. Park had the mismatch. She kicked it out to Lee. We got the contact and the triple. Korea starting to find their groove here. Gradita made the right move there. Good chance for some settling free throws here.
Well, it is, and it's Gradita is such a facilitator. That's her first option all the time, so it's good to see her getting you know, a drive to the basket, getting to the foul line, because she can score. She can, you know, has a good pull-up jump shot.
Misses the first free throw. We saw Park Ji-han replace Park Ji-soo in the meantime. Goes 1 from 2 at the line. An Hye-ji replaces Ho Ye-un, a good stint from Ho. And now a really potent lineup on the floor for Korea, as there always is, no matter who's on the floor, really. Claire.
Just look at the player and ball movement.
It's chaotic out there. Lots of talk on the court. Lee has 3 to shoot. Gives it to Kang. Can't beat the shot clock.
That's a good defensive stop for Indonesia. Because Korea were moving, and they were moving the ball really well.
2 number 2s. Great battle between An and Lee last night. An Hye-ji wants to find someone. Gets Park. Lee has another attempt.
Oh,
This time it rattles out.
that looked like it was halfway through the net before it popped back out again.
Unfortunate miss for her. Radita kept with it. And the jump ball call. Arrows heading towards Korea. The sub for Indonesia. Karen comes on to replace Anggraini. Some good experience out there. An, so reliable with the ball in her hand. What does she do with it here? Finds Park. To Young, to Kang, sorry. Radita now. Just elects to slow things down for the time being. I'd love to get Pierre-Louis back in the game. Foul in the back play. And it's an offensive foul.
The referees in this game, and certainly in the last game, have been really looking at the screening action. So if you go to set a screen and you at all move your hips, move your shoulders, move, you know, take a little step, they're calling it, and they've been consistent with that.
Something the players are going to be aware of for sure. Lee has had a good day from 3.
Great pin down screen. She comes off of that so well.
Indonesia need to start finding some answers. Wong Sahajo back out there. What can she create? Karen, Pierre-Louis. That's better.
Really good. Yeah, really good movement that time. Probably the best we've seen most of this quarter.
Finds Park.
Wow.
She'd back on the court. Oh, back on the score sheet.
How fast and on. It was like a give and go, cut through the key there, got the ball, then just kicked it out to a shooter. She is impressive. She's continuing on from yesterday's game against China, where she had 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists.
A timeout called on the floor. Korea lead this one 40 points to 28 after a big start to the second term. Let's head into the Indonesia huddle once more.
Messages that they would probably be talking about is the fact that they need to work together as a team. They're you know, the Korean players for most part are taller and probably a bit more strong, physical. And so in order to get, they need to get each other open. They need to set screens. They need to cut off of each other. They need to move the ball quickly, shift the defense. Easier said than done.
See how they go in offense for the moment. Gradita, a bit of a scare there. Karen, back to Gradita. Get some assistance from Pierre-Louis on the roll. And gets the friendly roll as well. Points for Kim Pierre-Louis, already in double figures. Lead, Shin, pulls up, knocks it down. Shinji Art's feeling it. Soima helping out Gradita, and now Karen. Wong Sahajo. Karen cops a heavy bump. See on the replay here, bit of a collision between those two. Itonang out onto the floor. Soima will take a seat. Silla Karen at the line. 6 points and 2 assists against China. 5 points against New Zealand. It's third point of the night.
It's interesting. Korea just can't seem to quite get, you know, that momentum and really kick ahead. And they have their moments where they look like they're moving the ball really well. They shoot a three, they come back. And then Indonesia just does something to sort of settle them down. And it's been this 10-point margin for a while.
That's how it remains. 2 minutes left in the opening half. Park finds Shin, and then Schweb. Park Ji-hoon has to go back. Oh, she managed to get it through.
She is so impressive, Park Ji-hoon.
10 points to her in this game. She's starting to come alive. Gradita trying to show what she's made of. Strong drive, but Korea just too strong in defense there. Shin did what she had to do. Gets it up back from Ahn. Still with Ahn Heji. And an offensive foul. Chue this time the offender. Lee Hedard will replace Chue on the floor. Korea now in the bonus. Itonang. Still with her. Advances. And then gets to take it away, and Korea off and running once again. Lee streaming through. Karen found her. She heads to the line.
And that's when Korea look their very best, is when they get a steal and then they run the floor, they push the ball ahead. They attack Indonesia before they're really set up in any sort of defense. And either they're going to score and get an and one, or at least, as we see here, get yourself to the foul line.
Second foul for Karen. It's been an improved performance from Lee Heran early on in this game compared to her last two. 2 rebounds against New Zealand and 3 rebounds against China. Today she has 3 points. 45 plays 32. 40 seconds remaining. Park, again, just getting in the way. Lee takes it all the way. One more to come.
Just such good anticipation by Park. Gets that steal. And then the quick no-look pass from On into the flying Lee Heran. Very impressive Korea.
Hassan back out there for this last 30 seconds. Lee Heran with a 3-point opportunity. Oh, move. See what Indonesia have left here. Been outplayed in this second period by Korea. Hassan. This is why they brought her on. A bit of energy to end the opening half. Pierre-Louis. That's what she does best.
And the difference there between a couple of the other times where she's posted up is that they got the ball into her nice and early. So she was able to make her move before help could come at all. And that's a big difference. And so that's the speed of the game. You have to be able to recognize somebody's open, get it to them straight away rather than look, then get it to them. Defense has already collapsed.
Can't make the 3, can't make the 1, sorry. On to Lee. Give it back to An. What could she do? What could she create? She gives it to Lee Myung-Gwan. She can't beat the buzzer. But an excellent second period from Korea. They are in control of this game now. And at halftime, Korea 48 lead Indonesia 34. So Korea getting on top in that quarter. Their shooting percentages are all looking great. 7 threes already at halftime is excellent, Laurie.
Well, it is, and just their shot selection has been really good, Korea. Good percentage from the line, taking care of the ball with 7 turnovers. You know, rebounding as we'd expect that they dominate, and assists just shows how much of a team style of basketball that they're playing.
Top scorers from each team. Pierre-Louis with 13. Park with 10, Suima with 8, Tre 7, Lee 6, and Karen 4. We're going to take a look at the best plays from the second quarter very shortly, and they'll show that Korea flexed their muscles. They outscored Indonesia 23-12. We knew they'd step up and find a way, and they did, Laurie.
Well, they did, and it was only really a matter of time. Indonesia have been gallant in trying to stick with them and coming up with some good plays, and they certainly haven't been blown out, but Korea just were making good decisions at the right time, and they were looking for each other. And I just thought their action on offense, whether it was a pin down with Park Hansu Park Ji-hun coming off of that, ready to shoot it, whether it was On getting her feet in the paint and then distributing it, or fast break opportunities like we saw there. I just thought that they had a lot of class in that second quarter.
Second half coming up, don't go anywhere.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they would do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Mauli, one way, then the other. Stephanie Mauli gets Japan in the lead. Paul Goris needs to call a timeout. It is all Japan at the moment. He's been immense. Count the points, one more to come. Louis showing her skills.
That's why they need her back on the court.
Hokianga has to be careful here. Karen right there with her. Hokianga remains with the play. Winika came from behind.
I think Karen thought she just did enough on that spin move to be able to finish strongly and out of nowhere.
George kicks it back out to Blitzars and then Boulays. Beautiful pass from George and Boulays finishes it off.
That was great connection.
Bringing Lee and Hong out onto the floor. Comes over the top with a bit of a flex on her as well. And a quick play here from Australia. Boulays, instant response for Edie Blaze.
What an answer from Borlace. What a game. What a start to this game we've got.
Two of the best teams in it at the moment. Sahajo crosses over the Goldrick. Sahajo all the way.
But I said that in the last quarter. She needs to do that more. She's capable of it. She's got a good first quick step.
Harif gets it from Gradita. Behind the back, Gradita to Chandra. That's from Indonesia.
That was a great little move by Gradita. And a nice finish by Chandra. They need a little bit more of that action.
Quick release required here for Korea. Anheji. She breaks it in.
That was beyond halfway. Oh my goodness, what a shot. Even the crowd are clapping. I think they appreciate that. Wow.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own countries, but also in the international basketball world.
Welcome back to Shenzhen, where it's Korea leading Indonesia by 14 points at halftime. We're now looking at Indonesia's top scorer, who is Kim Pierre-Louis with 13 points. She's on track for career best Asia Cup Division A points in a game, but more importantly, she'll want to guide her team to a win here, Laurie.
Well, certainly when she's on the court, and she had to sit for a little while with her 2 fouls, but she needs to stay on the court, and it's moves like this to the basket. She's strong, she presents, she seals well, she finishes really well, and so they need to keep looking for her. We talked a few times where passes into her weren't quite at the right angle. They needed to dribble a little bit further to give her that option of being able to gather the ball in. But she is no doubt the focal point for this team, and it's something that you know, Korea will want to talk about and try and take that away from her.
Top scorer for Korea is Park Ji-han with 10 points. Laura, you mentioned her IQ tonight. What makes her such a smart player?
Well, I think she just reads what's given to her offensively. So she reads that if her defense is going, you know, following her, then she's going to turn around and come down off a pin down screen. You can just see that her mind is always aware of people on the court, her own players and her defenders, so whether she's scoring or whether she's facilitating. But she's just so, what's the word I want to use? Unique with her movement. She reads things well, and she goes about her business. She's got a game face all the time. She doesn't sort of get really uptight or really, you know, punching the air. I like her demeanor on the court, and I think it serves her really well.
So halftime here at Shenzhen, it's Korea 48 leading Indonesia 34. Earlier on, we saw a great game between the Philippines and Lebanon to determine who finishes 3rd and 4th in Group B. It was the Philippines getting the win by 3 points to finish 3rd. Lebanon, they finished 4th. And if Indonesia keep going the way they are, they could be finishing in that 4th spot in Group A and be facing Lebanon in that relegation game. But let's turn our attention to Korea, because all credit to them, they are playing a super good game here once again, bouncing back from that loss against China last night. We mentioned there'd be a few sore bodies. They've looked okay, they've managed their play as well, and they've got into their rhythm in the second term.
Absolutely, and the thing that really impressed me in that second quarter in particular was they kept the ball moving through hands really quickly. It didn't stick with anybody. You know, there was player movement, but it was really crisp ball movement, and that meant that Indonesia were constantly in rotation and trying to play catch up, and that's when you saw extra open shots when they made the extra pass, and so they need to continue to do that. They look really good when the ball just pops through people's hands.
So they're warming up on the floor at the moment, doing a good job. We know how much a win means to them. Group A is looking pretty tight. New Zealand, one of the teams on 1 win and 1 loss. They face China later on tonight. We've spoken about the work of Park Ji-han. Not only the 10 points, but the 4 rebounds and the 3 steals. She continues to deliver in this tournament. 10 points, 2 rebounds and 2 assists against China. And then of 20 points, 7 rebounds and 3 assists against New Zealand. So she certainly stepped up for Korea in the absence of their captain Kang Lee-seo, who we wonder when she'll return. Hopefully she has a chance for the rest of the tournament,
well,
but we don't know.
Hopefully there's a rest day tomorrow, and you know, we talk about the different options of what can happen, and if Korea does win this game, as it looks if they're heading in that direction right now, then they know already that their opposition will be the Philippines, unless, and let's put this out there, New Zealand are able to beat China. Yeah. But even if they are, it would have to be by a really big margin. So that 2-point win against New Zealand in game 1 was absolutely crucial. And that's what happened in 2023 as well, when New Zealand flipped the tables and they won. So, but they're not thinking about any of that right now. They've got business to take care of in the second half. They've got a determined Indonesian side ahead of them that aren't just going to hand it to them on a silver platter. So they want to make sure that they're getting something out of this second half and continuing to increase this lead.
Well, Indonesia, they have it all to play for. What can they do to get back into this game, Laurie?
Well, a couple of things. You know, there's been some turnovers which I guess you would expect from them, just given their inexperience at this level, and the speed, and we talked about, we said it all along, speed and physicality. They've got 10 turnovers at the moment. I think when they play as a team, So when they move the ball around and come off of some screens, that's when they're going to be at their best. When they try and just go one-on-one, I'm not sure, other than maybe Kim Louis in the post there, and I think they need to continue to look for her and look for her early. It's hard to break a player down, and you know, I think they look really good when they're playing together, but they've got to continue to get the ball inside. They've scored 18 points in the paint already to Korea's 16 points. Korea have 7 second chance opportunities, so again, blocking out is really consistent. We know Korea shoot the 3 ball, so to try and get it to be just one and done, but that's hard because there's a height difference as well.
Yeah, exactly right. All to play for them, all to play for both teams really. Of course, coming up next, China up against New Zealand. Both teams getting their final addresses from Coach Park Soo-hoo for Korea and Coach Andre Ekayana for Indonesia. Again, earlier on we saw the Philippines overcome Lebanon, and the celebrations for that game, wow, they went off. It felt like they'd won the gold medal. You can tell how much tournament basketball means to these teams and how much representing your country means.
Well, it's history making for them. They've never competed in a pre-qualifying or given themselves a chance to be at a Women's World Cup, and so that's why they were so excited. Takes the pressure off. They don't have to play in that qualifying game for relegation, and we know the importance of it too, because they're building towards 2027 when they're actually hosting the Asia Cup. So it's exciting times ahead for them. They've got some exciting young players, as do all the teams at this tournament. You know, on display today, we've got young Bella Hassan, who's been doing a great job. We've got Hong Yu-soo for Korea that has shone as well. So it's wonderful to see these young stars stepping up. Absolutely right. It's what we love to see. Best players developing right in front of our eyes. What an opportunity they have to represent their country here. Scan the QR code on your screen to get the Courtside 1891 app, where you can watch live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of international basketball. Getting underway in the second half. We've still got 25 seconds on our clock. The referees are ready, the players are out there and ready. I think we might be okay to get underway a little bit earlier, maybe. No, I think we have to wait. The Tissot clock has to tick down to 0 before we can start the game. Good to see both teams are eager to get back out there. Indonesia needing to bounce back. Korea hoping to keep their lead. And we are now ready. Welcome back to Shenzhen in China for the second half between Korea and Indonesia. Korea 48, leading Indonesia 34. Julia Montesano and Laurie Chiswick are with you in commentary. And again, the Korea body hits the floor. Leaves Indonesia with 13 seconds on the shot clock. From Sahajo to Pierre-Louis to Sliata to Antonio. And now every player's touched it. Orville just couldn't get the result. Had the right build up there. So Indonesia are 2 from 9 from beyond the arc. Korea, we know what they can do from that area of the court. Oh, Pierre-Louis, an early foul. On the 3 once again. 3rd foul for her in the game. It's not something she'd want to watch back. Just caught the arm on the shot. And I think Kang Yu Lim probably over-accentuated the movement just to make sure that there was no doubt in the referee's minds. It's smart. It is smart. Kang Yu Lim's had an interesting tournament. She played just the 3 minutes against New Zealand. She started last night against China, came up with the 10 points. And tonight she's come out with a bit of energy as well. 7 points
for her so far in the game. Korea with the first score of the second half. Wong So-ha-jo finding Orville, who wants to let loose. The long-range shots, I should say, haven't really been working.
Well, again, that's too early in the shot clock. That's one, kick it ahead up the court and a shot. Korea haven't had to play any defense whatsoever.
And look what they do on response.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens.
Now they slow it down. It's in great hands, Kim Pierre-Louis. Antonio. Orville thought about it again, then thought better of it. Shot clock ticking down, a mean crossover. Pierre-Louis goes once again. Still can't get the shot. She's still going, Kim Pierre-Louis, and eventually she gets to the line. Great effort under the basket.
A good persistence. We see one offensive rebound.
So Ritadang's going to replace Orville, while Kim Pierre-Louis is attempting these free throws. Both coaches really active on the bench. Indonesia need to get some ascendancy back in this game. Second free throw is good from Kim Pierre-Louis. Hong. Park in rhythm. Lee gets it back out to Ho. Tries to find Park, gets Ho back, has a look from long range, and she deserves that.
Well, that certainly looked good, leaving her hand. Really balanced shot.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but that's her first points of the tournament. She's had such a prolific role to play. 7 assists against New Zealand, 2 rebounds and 5 assists against China. She finally breaks through for a score. Sriata fouled there on the replay. Wong So-ha-jo finds Sriata. Antonio. Sriata. Wong So-ha-jo again. Back to Sriata. Double teams. Pierre-Louis somehow takes it, and again she'll head to the line. Showing why she's so important to this team.
Well, again, just her work rate, her hustle, her determination and persistence to keep going after it, keep that ball alive, trying to get possession for her team.
Yeah, Louis playing in Germany at the moment. Trying to get the job done for her team here tonight.
She did tweak her ankle in yesterday's game, and everybody was hoping that she would be okay because she entered this tournament under a little bit of an injury cloud, but certainly appears to be fine.
16.7 rebounds now for Pierre-Louis. Equaling her tally against China on night 1 in terms of points. And again, Korea score quickly. Hong gets in on the action. Indonesia trying to move it through Wong So-ha-jo. Aritanon behind the basket.
Korea right now are playing really smothering defense, and not so much that they're up and in on whoever has the ball, but they're playing really smart, rotations, talking, switching, active hands, active feet.
And and all of a sudden they're out to a 20-point lead. 9 points to 3 so far in this term. Again, the noise out there is immense. Kang. Oh! Classic. We always like to see the methods of how they get it out.
Well, nobody certainly offers to jump up and try and tap it out. Perhaps if China was here, there might be a few players that could make that offer.
Of course, they're back in action later tonight, hosting New Zealand here at the Shenzhen Sports Arena. Slims on the sideline. Chance here for Indonesia. It's just been Pierre-Louis' free throws so far in terms of scoring in this quarter. Kang will be replaced by Lee out on the floor. Gets cut off. Here is Lee to Ho. Hong, Pa, back to Ho. Beautiful work. Lee. Ho not this time. Wong Sahajo flying up the floor. Although Park, again, showing her smarts. Right place, right time. That time, a rare errant pass from her.
Well, that's what I was going to say as she made that interception. I said that's an example of her IQ and what she can read, the anticipation of that, where the pass was going to go to, and was able to pick that off quite easily.
So Indonesia call a timeout on the floor, down by 20 points, 6 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the third. Let's see what Coach Andre Ekayana has to say to his players.
One side, middle, don't leave, the point guard, long, give full three. Kalau yang tadi, kalau dia startnya di sini, masa lu gak bisa bedain jaga di sini sama jaga di sini? Mereka kalau sebelah, bantuin ke tim, yang lain bantuin ke tim. Pokoknya kalau 11 itu pimpin kita, kalau misalnya dia balik, kita pakai yang baru.
So Indonesia with a bit of work to do. 57 plays 37 at the moment. Korea have outscored them 9 points to 3 in this third term. They face the prospect of finishing 4th in Group A and facing Lebanon in a relegation battle. Just when they've arrived in Division A, the last thing they'd want is to go back to Division B. Antonio spinning, can't get the score. Oh! Off the foot of Ho.
Shot clock resets to 14 seconds.
Gradita to inbound. Started for Indonesia tonight. The first time this tournament. Antonio. That's a good move. That's what she needs to do. The line is that Indonesia's friend at the moment. They've been there a few times now.
Well, they have, and that was a good take by Clarita Antonio, because her defender, knowing that she likes to shoot the three, knowing that she doesn't need much space, was right up in her. So the fact that she was able to put it to the ground, go by her defender, and now at the foul line.
Goes 1 from 2. Indonesia get it back though. This time dumps it into Pierre-Louis. It was the right pass. She's just smothered as she attempted the shot. And look at this. It rattles out. Gradita, oh, the roll on Lee. And then gets herself pumped up as she's fouled by Hong. Loving her energy out there. Used to coach her, Laurie.
I did.
What can you tell us?
Well, the thing is about her is she's so energetic. She, you know, she's a fierce competitor, but she always has a smile on her face. She wants more, and it's really fun to see her out there and doing what she does. But as I've said all along, even back in 2019, she could be a scorer, but just chooses to be much more of a facilitator. But she's got really good handles.
Pierre-Louis going to come off for a quick rest. 16 points and 7 rebounds. Karen on the floor to replace her. So a much smaller lineup out there for Indonesia at the moment. Ho knocks it down. Speaking of size, haven't seen Park Ji-soo in a while. Looks like she's managing her minutes. Knows there's more to come in this tournament.
Well, everybody, both pools A and B, get a rest day tomorrow, which I'm sure will be much appreciated by many of the players. I'm sure the physios and support staff will be, masseuses will be busy tomorrow.
No rest day for the staff, who do a great job. It's not just the players who travel out here, the teams, all the support staff too. It really does take a village. Park Ji-han. (61-39) now. Gradita, double teamed. Sliata was there to help. Antonio steps into the three, and that's what we know she can do. Much needed for Indonesia. Their first field goal of the third term. The rest of their points have come at the line. Karen fouls. Sub on the floor for Korea. Lee Chu-young, who's going to replace Ho Ye-un. Park to Hong, and now Lee, fresh on the floor, back to Park Ji-han. Oh my word!
They have done that same action over and over in tonight's game, where Hun cuts into the key and then a pin down screen comes, she comes off of it, and they've just, you know, I think they've done that 4 or 5 times.
15 points for Park now. Sriata tries to find some help. Antonio saw some space. Kara couldn't get the putback done. Indonesia have had to work so hard for their baskets. The shooting percentage is just not working in their favor though. Chandra and Soima replace Antonio and Sriata. And Shin Chi-han is going to come back in for Korea, replacing Lee Myung-gwan. 3 minutes 11 remaining in the third.
Park Ji-hong has played a lot of minutes. She's played 22 in this game.
She's had a big influence in those minutes as well.
She's up to 15 points right now.
Hong to Shin. And here is Park. What does she do now? Gets to work on Itonang. Lee. To Lee Chu-yan. Gradita comes away with it. Travel call. Just when you think it doesn't get any harder, Choi Isem comes onto the floor. Bella Hassan and Latanya Orville also out there for Indonesia.
I'd be surprised if we see Park Ji-soo any more of this game. Certainly not this quarter, because the last thing you want to do is when, you know, your superstar player's been sitting for that long is to throw them into the game. And we know that there was some question of an injury cloud yesterday with her shoulder, that's right.
Shin with speed. Yeah, we can see Park Ji-soo. You'll see it as we advance up the court. She's just on the spin bike on the bench at the moment, just pedaling her way through the game. So she looks quite comfortable there. You can see her just behind the glass.
Well, maybe she is keeping warm then.
Yeah. Karen chucks it up. Ball goes flying back into Karen's hands. It's still looking a bit tired out there. Her shot's just falling short. Chandra trying to step around Park, and she does so successfully. Not easy to do.
No, good footwork by Chandra. Took her time, was patient.
Lee to Hong. Park, same spot, same result for Park Ji-han.
That's why she's staying on the court. 18 points now for Park Ji-han.
Counting down to three-quarter time now. She's been immense this quarter with 8 points. Chandra gets one back. Shin fancies her chances in the face of Chandra. Indonesia get it back. So Hassan to inbound. And yes, there will be a sub. Bit of confusion out there, but Kang Yoo-rim is going to make her way onto the floor. Park Ji-han, she's going to take a well-deserved rest. Hassan has to get on the move. Does well here, the 19-year-old. Chandra has had a good little patch here. What could she do? Falls short, gets her own rebound, gets the putback.
She's playing some good minutes while Kim Pierre-Louis is on the bench.
Hong with a great finish to the third term.
She made that look so easy, Hong, just effortless.
Korea continue to dominate here in Shenzhen. At the end of the third quarter, Korea 72, leading Indonesia 48. Another tough quarter for Indonesia to break through, but Korea, they just look so slick out there at the moment.
Well, everything they do, they make it look very, very easy, whereas on contrast to that, Indonesia, their goal, their shots, their scores, everything looks like it's such hard work, but they're persevering. You know, they're not giving up. We saw when Gradita got a little call her way, they were all excited about that. So, you know, little wins like that are good.
Absolutely right. Well, Korea, we know on the flip side for them, 24-14, they outscored Indonesia in that quarter. Park Ji-han, she exploded onto the scene. 8 third quarter points to sit at the bench right now with 18 points, 7 assists and 5 rebounds. She has continued her outstanding tournament. And then we see her here getting involved. She's just shown her smarts, her IQ, and she really has taken this game away from Indonesia almost single-handedly. 24-point margin. It's all to do for Andre Ekayana's team. Can they bring some energy to this game?
Well, I think for them, what they'll want to do is just not let it blow out any further. So whether they win this last quarter or not, but you just don't want it to blow out. Keep it in control. keep trying to improve and get some, you know, because they still have another game. They're going to have that qualifying game, which is really important. So you've got to get the most of it every single minute that you're on the court.
Fourth quarter tipping off. Korea 72 leading Indonesia 48, a 24-point margin. Coming up next, China up against New Zealand in the final game, group game of the FIBA Women's Asia Cup for 2025. A rest day tomorrow, and then we get into the finals of the classification games. It's all going to kick up a notch. It's already been excellent standard of basketball, and Hong is proving that just here.
Well, if that was what the coach called at the start of that quarter, that execution was perfection.
Hong's been really positive in her minutes. 7 points in 14 minutes, in fact, it's really good. Soiba, well done. A 3-point shot goes down.
Ball gone through a few sets of hands. It was reversed, it was inside. That's what they need to continue to do.
Hong. To Shin. Lee. Back to Shin. Kang. What a display from Shin Ji-han!
Well, she just realized a quick glance at the shot clock, realizing it was running right out, and so she just let it fly, and nothing but net.
Excellent shooting from Korea. Trouble there from Orville. Just tied that perfectly, Shin Ji-han. Here she is with it again. Dumps it to Hong this time, who gets it back to Ahn. And now Kang Yoo-rim. Oh, it's going to go down.
They are executing things so well. They're setting good screens. Often you get to the fourth quarter of a game and players aren't necessarily really headhunting and finding their screens, but Korea is doing just that and really opening up their teammates.
Hassan. Kicks it across. Orville. Chandra. Hassan. Orville. They had to work hard for it, as they have all game. AC plays 53. Let's see what they have in mind here. Lee steps into the shot. That was a bit off balance. Hassan. Orville. Not much movement here from Indonesia. Chandra. Gets Kang out of the way. And then Lee holds on to the rebound. The running game of Korea strong once again. Shin a bit too hot on the shot. Hassan went down in the background there. So pushed by Lee, as you can see in the replay. And both teams will look to their bench. Lee Chu-yun. Kim Pierre-Louis, you can see her keeping warm on the spin bike. Same deal with Park Ji-soo on the other side. So interesting to see if any of those players will come back. Sriata, fresh legs onto the court. Gets the rebound. Spinning on Hong. Hits the backboard. Shin. Lee. Kang. Again, the Korea ball movement is so impressive. Shin Ji-han Can't do it again. Oh, I got excited there.
Well, it's nice to watch. It's really nice to see that their ball movement, their player movement, they're looking for each other, crisp passes. And look all defensively, they are up and in. They are not giving Indonesia anything. Even though this margin's almost 30 points, 27 points, they are still going at it hard.
And there you go, spotted away from Hassan as the shot clock was ticking down. Kang Yurim. And Itolang with the rebound. Hassan, she can have another attempt. She's looking a bit tired out there, the 19-year-old. Soima, Antonio. And Itolang. Hard shot out there. Lee Heran, here we go. Not this time. Indonesia now looking a bit stagnant. Soima to Sriata. That was a nice move. Shin. Fouled by Soima. Gotta be careful there, Soima.
Was it unsportsmanlike call?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. She sort of got away with it. That's why I said to be careful. But there you go. They have called it. So Shin will step up to the line. Ho Ye-un waiting to come on the court. She'll replace Kang Yurim. Andrea Kayala getting a bit of an explanation from the refs. Meanwhile, Shin Ji-han converts the free throw. 11 points and 2 assists for her in this game. Goes 2 from 2. And possession. Ho. Lee. Going up against Gradita. Gets it back. Foul call just before the shot clock expired. She gets to go to the line.
Well, Indonesia were in a zone. They came out in a zone there and really did actually quite a good job of not letting them get any shots up. And just at the end there on a ball reversal, she punched the ball inside, and as the buzzer went, she got fouled and finds herself at the free throw line. Hong Yoo-soon.
The 8th point for the game. 2 assists to go with it as well. Everyone's contributing on the floor for Korea at the moment. Only one player hasn't scored for tonight. Radita, Sriata. And she makes a good move there. It's a better look for Indonesia. Sriata's had some nice moments throughout the tournament. She'll head to the line here. 4 points and 7 rebounds against New Zealand. 5 points and 2 boards against China. Power forward who plays her basketball with GMC Cirebon in Indonesia. Gets the second one to go. points to go along with her 5 rebounds. And the volume, just hear it increase as Korea go to their side of the floor. Three starting to dry out for them a bit. No doubt they're happy with how this game is tracking. 84 plays 54, 3.5 minutes left in the game. Antonio. Oh, wow, a nice highlight there for Indonesia.
That's what we know she's capable of doing.
Good intent there. Just a bit of physicality there causes the foul. A nice shot here from Clarita Antonio. All the bottom of the net. She's had a few long looks tonight. Wong Sohajo's 3rd foul. Lee to Hong. Shin Ji-han. You betcha! Gradita now for Indonesia.
Korea are shooting the ball at 40% from long range.
Continuing their scoring dominance here. Aritonam. That one falls short. Lee. Ho. Gets it back to Hong. Very nice release, and now every player on Korea's roster who's suited up tonight has scored. Lee Chu-yeon on the scoreboard.
That's a great sign for Korea when everybody's contributed. Team basketball.
And Gradita, nice side for her. She gets to the line after converting the 2. One more to come for her. A nice strong drive from Agustin Gradita. Four points and 2 rebounds, as well as 2 assists so far for her tonight. Chandra's been really positive in her minutes on the floor. Still yet to see Kim Pierre-Louis in this 4th term. I don't think we will potentially see her. Same deal with Park Ji-soo. This is the day of the tournament where you really start to manage your minutes. Lee again. Wow. She's feeling it.
Well, over the course of the first 2 games, they were averaging taking 34 3-point shots a game, and right now they are up to 37, so they've surpassed their average.
It's been a record-breaking game for them. It's their highest score for the tournament as well, with 92 points so far. Minute 40 left in the game. There's still time for them to perhaps even get in the triple figures. Who knows? Antonio, now things are starting to click for Indonesia late. The 2, one more to come. Took the contact, got it to go. Four fouls now for Ho. A 40-point margin here for Korea. What do they do to finish off the game? Lee! Wow!
There's your answer right there, Julia. What do you do to finish it off? You continue to shoot the 3-ball.
8 points. All in this 4th term. All in this little patch of 30 seconds, I reckon. Aritonam fancies her chances. Lee. What does she do with it now? Passes to Shin, who's also had a hot quarter. And Ho. Shin. Oh, Lee thought about it. She should have gone for it. Gets it to Lee head on. And she can't get the friendly roll. They're hustling for the rebound, even with under a minute left. They're still giving it everything, Korea. And Indonesia have no choice but to just dribble it out and try and get something going in this last 25 seconds. But it's going to ultimately be a defeat for them. Adita sends that over the ring.
Do we have one last three left in this 17 seconds?
There's Coach Kung Lu Ming getting ready for tonight's game against New Zealand. Big game for China. We're expecting another big crowd. Oh, happy to dribble this one out. It's been a comprehensive performance from Korea. And there's the final buzzer. Full time here in Shenzhen, and it's Korea who secure victory and get one step closer to a semi-final spot. Final score is Korea 95, Indonesia 62. Fortunately for Indonesia, they confirm their fourth finish of the group with the 3 losses for the group games. They'll face Lebanon, who also finished last in Group B, and we'll hope that they can continue their time here in Division A, because we've loved what we've seen from them so far, but all credit has to go to Korea. Besides that first quarter where they really let Indonesia keep up with them, it was quite flawless for the next 3.
Well, it wasn't. It was just their ascendancy. I think yes, they're taller, yes, they're quicker, but they are more experienced too, and it just showed on the court today. And whilst Indonesia battled, gallantly as much as they could, Korea were just a step above, a class above, and they just showed it in every aspect of the game.
So a 33-point win in the end for Korea. They outscored Indonesia 23 points to 14 in that fourth term. And here's what the stats look like to end the game, Laurie.
Well, I like that 42% from the three-point line for Korea. We know they take a lot of them, so if they can shoot it at a good clip, that'll hold them in good stead in any single game.
83% from the free throw line. Indonesia can hold their heads high. They won the rebound count, which is pretty good considering how undersized and unexperienced they were compared to Korea. Though Korea with the 36 to 17 assists, that's always going to look good, and they always seem to share the ball around.
Well, the other important stat was their 10 turnovers for Korea is excellent. They kept the ball, they kept care of the ball in very good fashion.
Top scorers Park and Pierre-Louis, 18 and 16 points apiece. Park at the moment receiving a TCL Player of the Game trophy. She finished with 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. Let's take a look at the fourth quarter best plays, and Korea just continued to show what they were made of. And the most impressive thing was they did get to manage their players. They got to manage Park Ji-han and Park Ji-soo, their 2 superstars of the team. But didn't the bench step up? They continued to roll. And they continued to fight till the very end. No matter how much the lead was growing out, they still kept producing excellent plays and excellent shots.
Well, if you didn't know who was on the court, you couldn't tell that there were subs being made. In fact, as far as the style of play, they continued to push. They continued to get their feet in the paint, kick it out. They continued to use good screens, pin down screens. And then defensively, whoever was on the court was trying to be really disruptive and cause a lot of problems for Indonesia. Indonesia had some bright spots, a couple of them. Antonio getting a couple of threes. Gordita and her ball handling. Kimberly Lewis sat most of that fourth quarter, so it was a good effort, but just a class above for Korea.
Absolutely right. They finished this game with a 95 to 62 win. They go to the top of the standings for now, but up next, 7:30 local time, China and New Zealand to determine the final standings of Group A. Indonesia right now sitting at the bottom of the table with no wins from their 3 group games, unfortunately for them. Thank you for joining us tonight. It was Korea getting the job done by 33 points. Up next, China up against New Zealand.